Hello world, and of course hello amazing Philippines. Good day, and today we're going to have another module for our lesson, and the title is Learning Plans in the Context of the 21st Century. But we're going to start discussing our lesson. I hope and pray that you're in good, of course, situation, in good health, and of course doing well, okay, in life. So let's have our goals and of course learning outcomes for today. The first is of course to discuss the salient feature of the K to 12 curriculum, first requiring ICT pedagogy and of course integration, okay, of the skills. And the second one is analyze the learning competencies of every year level according to the field of specializations of the pre-service teachers. And lastly, apply the three approaches to teaching based in human capacity development in the six aspects of work in the teaching and learning process. This is again, of course, your Sir A, uh, to be of service to you. Let's first differentiate learning plans and the lesson plans. Okay, if you're going to notice, a learning plan is of course a document that is used to plan learning. Okay, and however, a lesson plan is typically a step-by-step guide or outline that small goals and objectives, okay, the students will accomplish during a day's work or even a week or even a semester for that. Okay, and if we're going to have the differentiation of these, when we say learning plans, it is more on exploratory. So students needs to explore, or student needs to explore. And when we say, of course, lesson plan, it's more on it is structured. And of course, it calls for empowerment in the learning plans. However, in the lesson plans, it talks about engagement. And if we're going to have, of course, the learning plans, it is student-centered compared to, of course, teacher-centered in the lesson plans. However, of course, in the learning plans, there is the students and, of course, the teachers to have, of course, the problem, no? Finders. However, in the lesson plans, it's more focused with the problem solvers. Learning plans also calls for the application, and however, in the lesson plans calls for regurgitation. And mostly learning plans talks about beyond school. However, lesson plans okay, are within, of course, the premise of the school. And what is I like most is that in the learning plans, of course, it is teaching to life compared to the lesson plans where in teaching there is teaching to test. But however, of course, we cannot deny the fact that the lesson plan is our guide for our probably blueprint in teaching. Let's discuss, of course, the K to 12. So the basic education curriculum of the country was enhanced with the implementation of the K to 12 curriculum. And the K to 12 program covers, of course, the kindergarten, okay, and the 12 years of basic education that composed of 6 years of elementary, the 4 years of the junior high school, and the additional 2 years of senior high. Okay, what's the purpose of these? This is to provide, of course, sufficient time for mastery concepts and develop skills, no? And of course, we need to develop lifelong learners, and we need to prepare our graduates for tertiary education, together with, of course, middle level skills development and even employment and entrepreneurship. If you're going to notice, okay, the purpose of these K to 12 is very great. Having, of course, the manpower, okay, and of course, good employment and entrepreneurship later on. And the implementation of course, the K to 12 curriculum is expected to contribute to the country's development in various forms. And it's believed that the implementation of the K-12 curriculum is necessary to improve the quality of our education, which is really critical to our progress as a nation. So the notion is that, of course, we can be of great help to our nation by, of course, having, of course, the workforce. Okay, and what is nice is to, okay, uplift or improve our quality of educations. By having these, probably we can be a good contributor to the success of our nation. Not just success, but probably progress also. So one of the features of the K-12 curriculum is the requirements to equip, of course, every graduate with the following skills. So these are the focus now. Okay, which is now the 21st century skills like the information media and technology skills, okay, the learning and innovation skills, and of course, effective communication skills, which is very necessary for all of you, okay, or for all of us, okay, in the teaching field to have, of course, effective communication skills, and lastly, the life and career skills. Okay, so the use of technologies is done in different levels of learning and in teaching the various fields of specialization. Okay, we started with, of course, the universal kindergarten or the strengthening early childhood education. So here, of course, technologies are being used, okay, or being implemented. Okay, so the use of technology in kindergarten by various schools is very evident in teaching them, okay, the following: the alphabets, the numbers, the shapes and colors, through, of course, games, songs, and dances in their mother tongue. So take note, okay, mother tongue is used. Okay. The second is that making the curriculum relevant to learners, and that is called contextualization and enhancement. Actually, I really like contextualization and enhancement. Why? Okay, so according to research, it shows that learners will value a curriculum that is relevant to their world. I really salute with that notion that if we are, of course, to teach, we need to take a look and, of course, see to it that it's really one to the world of our students. According to Sarah Bernard in 2010, she rather stressed that students need to have personal connection to a lesson material, which can be done through engaging them emotionally, okay, or through, of course, connecting, okay, the information that they already know. And this, she calls as give it context and make it, okay, count. So it's very nice to have, of course, this, okay, um, concept. The third is, of course, but however, the Briggs in 2014 shared some few tips for making, of course, learning engaging and personally relevant, as cited by Willis, Fate, and, of course, Mordino Young. So of course, here are the tips. The first is the use of suspense and keep it fresh. Okay, so here, of course, we need to drop hints about new learning a unit before, of course, you reveal what it might be. The second is make it student directed or student centered. So we need to give students a choice of assignments and a part or upon a particular topic, or ask them to design one of their own. So if we are going to, of course, give the chance to choose to students to choose what's the best, of course, it's better. Okay, we have also, other than that, we need to connect lesson to their lives and that they already know. So taking time to brainstorm about what students already know and would like to learn about a topic helps them to create goals. So we need to, of course, help our students to by creating, of course, their own goals. Okay, and the next is to provide utility value. When I say, of course, utility value, it provides relevance first by telling the students that content is important to future goals. So we need to, of course, the theories, no, the concepts, and of course the content. And by, of course, by showing or explaining how the content fits into their plans for future or to their work, future work. So that's this. There should be, of course, the connection of these. Okay, plan or goals, okay, and it should, of course, fit to their plans, okay, or work. And the next is of course build relatedness. So when we say of course relatedness, it answers the question, what has these have to do with me? Is there a connection? Okay, or is there relatedness? So it is an inherent need that students have to feel close to the significant people in their lives, of course, including teachers. So one, of course, of the people should be okay of great help is that of course to teachers. So we need to establish good rapport with our students. And the third one is, of course, building proficiency, which the use of mother tongue based rather multilingual education. So to be able to promote, of course, the child's dominant language and to use it as a language of instruction, technological tools should be maximized. And of course, mother tongue is used in the instruction and learning materials of other learning areas. So with, of course, the use of this mother tongue based multilingual education, okay, the learners retain their, of course, ethnic identity, even their culture, heritage, and values. So very nice. Okay, and of course, children learn better and are more active in class and learn a second language even faster when they are first taught in a language they understand. So the most important there is of course the understanding of learners. Okay, that's why we need to have of course the mother tongue. And of course, the next is ensuring integrated and seamless learning. And we use here, of course, a spiral progression. So learning the basic concepts that lead to more complex and sophisticated version of general concepts entail. Okay, that TPACK. And we can actually see the spiral progression in our math subjects, even in science. Okay, so with of course the TPACK, there are entities here that we need to have, like the technological knowledge, okay, the TK, the pedagogical knowledge PK, and the content knowledge CK. So these are the three um, knowledges that we need to have, or knowledge that we need to have. So the intersection between technological knowledge and pedagogical knowledge is known as the TPK, or technological pedagogical knowledge. And the intersection between, of course, pedagogical and content is known as pedagogical content knowledge. Okay, or the PCK, and the connection between, of course, technological knowledge and content knowledge is the TCK, or technological content knowledge. Okay, so as teachers, we need to master these three. We need to have, of course, knowledge with technology, the pedagogy, and of course, the content. That's why it entails TPACK. Okay, and number 5 is gearing up for the future. So the K to 12 curriculum ensures college readiness and by aligning the core and applied courses to college readiness standards. So what's important is of course students are ready, okay, with college work and probably education. And of course the new general education curriculum, or the JEC. Okay. The next is dot number 6, nurturing the holistically developed Filipino. Okay, so it focuses more on the college and livelihood readiness and the 21st century skills. So we're not just probably producing graduates, okay, but we need to make, of course, these graduates ready, no, for livelihood, and even, of course, possess 21st century skills. So to nurture holistically developed Filipino, every K to 12 graduate is expected to be ready to go into different paths. Okay, be it further education, employment, or entrepreneurship. So there is of course the choice for students to, okay, either of course education, to be employed, okay, or to have entrepreneurship. So that's it. Okay, so take note, my dear students, that every graduate is expected to be equipped with, okay, the 21st century skills again, the information, media, and technology skills, the learning and innovation skills, the effective communication skills, and of course, the life and career skills. We have, of course, the integration of technology in instruction. So various educators and researchers provided the following concepts and principles about integrating technology in instruction. And number one is John Pisapia in 1994. Okay, according to him, integrating technology with teaching means the use of learning technologies. Okay, what's the purpose of having that? To number one is to introduce, second, reinforce, supplement, and extend skills. Okay, another is International Society of Technology in Education, or the ISTE. So according to, of course, this, effective integration of technology is achieved when students are able to select technology tools to help them obtain information in a timely manner, analyze and synthesize the information, and present it professionally. Okay, that's nice. We have also Margaret Lloyd in 2005. According to her, ICT integration encompasses an integral part of broader curriculum reforms, which include both infrastructural as well as, of course, pedagogical considerations that are changing not only how learning occurred, but it was learned. So that's it, infrastructural and pedagogical considerations. The fourth is, of course, Kiyun Wang and Huai Wu in 2007. According to them, integrating information and communication, or ICT, into teaching and learning is a growing area that has attracted many educators' efforts, okay, in recent years, based on, of course, the scope content covered. And I said ICT integration can happen in three different areas, like in the curriculum, topic, and lesson. Again, okay, according to these authors, ICT integration can happen in three different areas, like we have in the curriculum, okay, in the topic itself, and of course the lesson. That's nice to know. Okay, and number five is according to Bernard Bahate in 2010, the process of integrating ICT in teaching and learning has to be done at both pedagogical and technological levels, with much emphasis put on, okay, or put in pedagogy. I want to say, of course, pedagogy, it talks about strategies, techniques, no methods, okay, the style. So ICT integration into teaching and learning has to be underpinned by sound pedagogical principles. So again, the focus here is on how we're going to, okay, teach, okay, using, of course, technology. Okay, it talks about our the strategies or techniques, okay, on how we're going to have it. Then we have, of course, UNESCO in 2005. According to UNESCO, ICT integration is merely mastering the hardware and software skills, and teachers need to share how to organize the classroom to structure learning tasks so that ICT resources become automatic and natural response to the requirements for learning environments, in the same way as teachers use markers and whiteboards in the classroom. So there is, of course, the use. Okay, and we need to master the hardware and software skills. Okay, without of course mastering these skills, so probably we find it hard, okay, to integrate technology in our teaching and learning process. Okay, we have also, of course, the information and communication technology. So before you can successfully integrate ICTs in different subjects that we have, so there's a need to have, of course, good grasp what information like communication technology. Here are, of course, some definitions of ICT from, of course, various literatures. So according to Morrison in 2005, ICT includes all the full range of computer hardware, including, of course, computer software and even telecommunication facilities. Okay, another is that, according to Tinio in 2009, ICT is a diverse set of technological tools and resources used to communicate, create, disseminate, store, and manage information. So these technologies include hardware, devices, software applications, the internet connectivity, and broadcasting technologies, and even telephony for that matter. That's according to Tinio. Another is that, according to UNESCO in the 2020, according to these, ICT is a diverse set of technological tools and resources. Okay, and here is the purpose of, okay, the ICT, or here are the purpose of the ICT. Okay, according to UNESCO, the first to transmit, to store, create, share, or exchange information. And these technological tools and resources, of course, include computers, even the internet that can be used in having website, blogs, and emails, the live broadcasting technologies, such as, of course, the use of radio, television, and webcasting, can the recorded broadcasting technologies or the podcasting, the audio and the video players and storage devices, and of course telephony, which is of course fixed mobile, no satellite, and video used in video conferencing. So if you're going to notice, there are really a lot of advantages in the use of these ICT. Okay, and UNESCO also defines it as a scientific, technological, engineering discipline and management technique, no? Used and handling information, its application and association with social, economic, and cultural matters. So the focus here, if we're going to talk, is about the use of ICT. Now, and it can be also scientific, okay, in nature, technological, and engineering discipline and management technique. Okay, let's have the other. According to Ratiswari in 2018, ICT influence every aspect rather of human life. So they play salient roles in workplaces, even in business, the education and entertainment. And moreover, many people recognize ICTs as the catalyst for change that include, of course, change in working conditions, handling and exchanging information, even teaching methods, learning approaches, the scientific research, and in assessing information communication technologies. Okay, so it's very amazing to have, of course, this ICT, okay, in our teaching and learning process. So there is using ICT integration in, okay, learning plans. So there are a lot of course, concepts provided by experts relevant to integrating technology in instruction. And apart from the above citations, okay, these concepts are very helpful to clarify lingering issues on how technologies are properly integrated in the teaching learning process. And for this purpose, the following framework may serve as guide in integrating ICTs in developing learning plans or lesson plans in different subjects. So let's have this. Letter A is the conversational framework of Lorillard. So this according to, it's actually during 2002. So the teaching learning process a very complete task to allow first learners to understand their lessons and masters the skills they are expected to demonstrate. This is probably, of course, the most important. Okay, that there should be mastery now of the lesson. Okay, there should be mastery and understanding. Okay, of the lesson, having of course good skills. Thus, it will be reassuring if teachers will explore on, okay, what we have in class. It should be engaging activities in classrooms. So the framework postulates a way of presenting teaching and learning in terms of events. So there are actually 5 key teaching and learning events in the framework, which are identified as, okay, number 1 is acquisition, B, discovery, C, dialogue, D, practice, and reaction. Again, there are 5 key teaching and learning events in the framework, which are identified as number 1, acquisition, number 2, discovery, number 3, dialogue, number 4 is practice, and number 5, reaction. That's the things that we need to have. In acronym, we can have add PR. Okay, so that's it, add PR. So these are, of course, the uh, 5 events that are specific, no? Okay. We have, of course, the first is the teaching, specific teaching strategies. We have learning actions, okay, or experiences. We have, of course, the lead media form, examples of non-computer based activity, and of course, examples of computer based, non-computer based activity, and the examples of computer based activity. Let's take a look with teaching and learning events. So the first is acquisition. So in the teaching action or strategy, we have, of course, the show, demonstrate, describe, and explain. Okay, in the learning, action, or experience, so this for students, there is of course attending, apprehending, and listening. And related media form that we can have is of course narrative, wherein this there is linear, presentational, usually same text, not acquired simultaneously by people. Okay, maybe many people. Then we have of course examples of non-computer. Okay, so we can have of course TV, video, film, lectures, notebooks, and other print publications. However, in the examples of computer-based activity, you can have lecture notes, online streaming of videos, lectures, DVD, and many more. So that's it. Okay, let's have the next. It's discovery. So here in the teaching action or strategy of the teacher, we can of course create or set up or find out or guide through discovery spaces and resources. For the learning action or experience, okay, we have of course investigating, exploring, browsing, and searching. Okay, for the related media form, it's interactive. So there is non-linear, presentational, okay, searchable, filterable, and so on. But of course, there is no feedback. Okay, and in the non-computer based activity, you have of course libraries, the galleries, and even museums. Okay, however, in the computer based activity, we can use CD based DVD or web resources, including of course the hypertext, even enhanced hypermedia, the multimedia resources, and so on. Another teaching and learning event is through dialogue. Okay, here, of course, in the teaching action or strategy, we can use set up, frame, moderate, lead, facilitate discussion rather. However, in the learning action or experiences, we can use discussing, collaborating, reflecting, arguing, analyzing, and of course, sharing. In the related media form, we have, of course, communicative. Okay, when I say communicative, now there is communication. So there is conversation with the student, the other students, and of course lecturer herself. And the non-computer based activity examples are the seminars. We can have also tutorials, references. However, in the computer based activity, we can use email, even discussions, the forums, and of course the blogs. Okay, we have the next two. We have, of course, practice. So in teaching action or strategy, when I say practice, there is modeling. So we need to have a model. Okay, in learning action or experience, there is experimenting and practicing. In the related media form, it's adaptive. So there is, of course, feedback and learner control. Okay, and examples of non-computer based activity are the laboratory, we have field trip, the simulation, even the role play. And in the computer-based activity examples, we have the drill and practice, the tutorial program, simulations, virtual, and the use of virtual environments. Okay, and lastly, of course, we have creation. So it's more on facilitating, okay, with the action, teaching action or strategy in the learning action or experience. There is articulating. We have, of course, experimenting, making or synthesizing for that matter. Okay, in the related media form, it's productive and it's learner control. Okay, with the examples of non-computer based activity, okay, there is of course essay, the object animation, and of course model. In the computer-based activity examples, we have simple existing tools, no? As well as, of course, especially created programmable software for that matter. So what's necessary here is we need to have creation or we need to create for that. Letter B is, of course, the element, the three fundamental elements of ICT integration by Wang in 2008. And Wang in 2008 posited that integration of ICT consists of three fundamental elements. And these are, of course, pedagogy, the social interaction, and technology. Take a look with, of course, the figure. So if in the social interaction, we need to have, of course, interaction with people. For these people, probably your students, your colleague as teachers later, and even in the community. And of course, as no facilitator of learning as teachers, we need to have interaction with content. We need to have mastery of the content. Okay, and even of course mastery of technology. Again, the three fundamental elements here are pedagogy, social interaction, and of course technology for that matter. Okay. So the ICT integration framework of Wang can be fully realized in developing learning plans. So the pedagogy refers here to teaching or strategies, the approaches, and of course techniques that teachers use to deliver their lessons and also to address the needs of the students. And there is, of course, the social interaction, which are, of course, the activities that are crucial in learning for students are able to develop necessary knowledge and skills for them to live and work in various communities. So using computer mediated communication, or the CMC, okay, planned social interaction activities that aim to enhance learning become more convenient and flexible. So what's nice here is, of course, learning there should be convenience, no? Okay, in the learning, or convenient learning, and of course flexibility, or being flexible. Okay, so as teachers of the 21st century, you are expected to become flexible teachers. The third, of course, element of the framework is the technological component that generally uses computer to support various learning activities. So through the use, of course, of computers, various teaching modes may happen. So the interaction does not solely happen in the face-to-face environment, but of course, it may already happen online. So that's the nice thing because of technology that we can, of course, use. Okay, so in the 21st century classrooms, the three components, pedagogy, social interactions, and technology, are needed in an ICT-based learning environment. Again, in the 21st century classrooms, the three components such as pedagogy, social interaction, and technology are needed in an ICT-based learning environment. So we have, of course, letter C, which is the categories for information communication technology in teacher training. So there are a lot of researchers that will prove that the integration of technologies or ICTs can fully transform classroom instruction. According to Haddad in 2003, states that the teacher's use of ICT supports development of higher order thinking skills, or the HOTS, okay, and promotes collaboration. I like that one. So there is HOTS and collaboration among the students and of course teachers. And Zhong in 2005 was able to organize various ICT teacher training efforts into 4 categories. So this is presented in this 4 framework. Okay, take a look with this. Okay. The first one here in the framework is that, okay, ICT as main content focus. Okay, the second one is, of course, ICT as part of contents or methods. So there is, of course, this thing as the learning how to use ICT. Okay, and in between, of course, ICT as part of contents or methods, and ICT as facilitating or networking technologies, complementary technology. Okay, there is also, of course, the learning via ICT. Okay, wherein your number 3 here is the ICT as core delivery technologies. So here, of course, the intersection of that is you can frame for as core technology. Again, we have, of course, the categories. Number 1 is ICT as main content focus. Second is ICT as part of contents or methods. Okay, number 3 is ICT as core delivery technology, and number 4 is ICT as facilitating or networking technology. Okay, then letter D is, of course, the UNESCO ICT Competency Framework for Teachers. Okay, take note, the meaning of UNESCO is United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. So having a society that is increasingly based on information and knowledge, and with the ubiquity of information and communication technology for instruction. So UNESCO was able to develop ICT competence framework for teachers. That's UNESCO in 2028. So this framework, which is a part of course range of initiative by the UN, and its specialized agencies, including UNESCO, aims to promote educational reform and sustainable economic development anchored on the principles and objectives of the MDG, okay, or the Millennium Development Goals, the IFA or the EFA, Education for All, and the UN Literacy Decade or the UNLD, and the Decade of Sustainable Development or the DESD. Okay, so as shown here, as shown by, of course, the here in the framework, the teachers have 6 aspects of work. Okay, and this includes understanding ICT and education, the curriculum and assessment, pedagogy, application of digital skills, organization and administration, and teacher professional learning. So we have, of course, also the 3. Okay, if you're going to notice, there are 3 approaches to teaching based on human capacity development. And this includes, of course, the knowledge acquisition, the knowledge deepening, and of course, the knowledge creation. Let's first discuss okay, understanding ICT and education. So in the knowledge acquisition, there is, of course, policy understanding. It's very important to know the policy and understand it. Okay, in the knowledge deepening, it's policy application. So we need to apply. And of course, in the knowledge creation, we need to innovate, okay, with the policy. The second is curriculum and assessment. Here, in the knowledge acquisition, it's very important to have, of course, basic knowledge. And we need to have application of that knowledge and, of course, knowledge, okay, about society skills. In the pedagogy aspect, so when we say, of course, pedagogy, teaching styles, no strategies. So there should be ICT enhanced teaching. In the knowledge acquisition, in the knowledge deepening, there is complex problem involving or solving rather. And in the knowledge creation, there should be self-management. That talks about, of course, pedagogy. Okay, and the next is the application of digital skills. So in the knowledge acquisition, there should be application. In the knowledge deepening, there is infusion. And what is best is that there is transformation in the knowledge creation. In the organization and administration, there is standard classroom in the knowledge acquisition. In the knowledge deepening, we can work with collaborative groups. And in the knowledge creation, there is learning organizations. Okay, and lastly, of course, the teacher professional learning. So we talk about here the digital literacy, okay, in the knowledge acquisition, networking in knowledge deepening, and of course, in the knowledge creation, teacher as innovator. Okay, that's nice. And of course, the framework also specifically aims to equip teachers to be able to do their, of course, roles in achieving the following societal goals. Okay, here are, of course, the societal goals. Number 1, build workforces that have information and communication technology skills that are, of course, reflective, creative, and adept at problem solving in order to generate knowledge. Letter B is enable people to do knowledgeable and resourceful so that they are able to make informed choices, manage their lives effectively, and realize potential. I like that one. Okay, we can, of course, make our choices. Other than that, we can manage our life effectively. And of course, we need to realize, okay, potential. This potential, probably ourselves, no, as students. And of course, when you become teachers, the potentials of your students. So that's it. It's better to know our potentials. And number 3, encourage all members of society, irrespective of gender, language, age, background, location, and differing abilities to participate fully in society and influence the decisions that affect, of course, their lives. Okay, it's very nice. There is inclusivity here because we believe that our class, okay, or our students are diverse. And of course, letter D, poster, cross-cultural understanding, even tolerance, and of course, peaceful resolution of conflict. Okay, we need to resolve conflicts. We need to, of course, have understanding of different cultures. Okay, we need to have tolerance for that matter. Okay, and of course, here comes the Commission on Higher Education. okay, which is in charge, of course, of tertiary education. So that shed through its policies, standards, and guidelines, we have, of course, the PSGs, requires, of course, the integration of ICTs in the teaching and learning. Hence, of course, the ICT competency framework for teachers is very useful to support that standards, as they will, of course, serve as guide to assist the teachers to successfully integrate ICT into the classroom. And of course, through the framework, the teachers may structure their learning environment in different or new ways. Emerge, of course, new technology and pedagogy, develops socially active classrooms, and to encourage not cooperative interactions and collaborative learning and group work. So that's it. If we are going to notice, there is, of course, this notion of having ideal, no? Okay, framework, and of course, the learning environment, which can probably provide better learning. So as of course teachers, we need to merge new technology and pedagogy. Okay, we need to develop socially active classrooms. So nakasasalalay po yan sa atin, and encourage, of course, cooperative interactions. There should be interactions between you and your students, and from you, and of course your colleagues, and there should be collaborative learning and effort, no, to be exerted, being of course the group work. Okay, so here are, of course, our references. If you wanted to know more, of course, about the topic, you can feel uh, free to search about this one. Okay, so thank you so much for listening. I hope you learn a lot of things from this. Again, this is Sir A, wishing you all the best in life. Thank you so much, and God bless.